We have some of the latest details, for example, wind speed and some sea surface temperatures. Right now, Lena, it's still a healthy system. It's going over some really warm water. Water temperatures right at the surface are in the low 80s. You need at least 80-degree waters to really sustain a tropical system. It looks like the 80-degree water goes just about to New Jersey. You see New Jersey's coastline right here. So you extend that east. That's kind of the water that's left that's warm enough to keep this as a hurricane. And then as it moves north and it crosses into some cooler water just outside of Long Island, it will start to weaken, but it's going to be picking up speed, and so it doesn't have much time to weaken. So we'll be watching the system as it moves north. Here's the latest track from the National Hurricane Center as we zoom in a little bit closer to the storm. All the reds you see the thunderstorms, especially on the eastern side. But the track continues to extend it north, most likely making landfall maybe Long Island or towards the Connecticut shores, maybe Rhode Island too. But notice the strength of this storm. We're probably talking about maybe a tropical storm hitting landfall. You think, oh, well, it's not a hurricane. Well, this is going to be a very strong tropical storm. You need the 74-mile-per-hour winds to start to get into that hurricane status. We're going to be in the low 70s, so we're very close to hurricane status. But watch this storm as it brings a lot of rain, a lot of wind, especially on the eastern half. I think it's going to be even a bigger impact towards Boston, towards Cape Cod, Martha's Vineyard. We'll be watching that. But notice how it stays east. You can see the orange outline. That's Ohio. That's where we are. It stays away from us. We're not going to have any impacts with this system as it continues to move north. You can kind of see it behind me spiraling with the visible satellite. But right now here at home, things are dry. Notice there's a lot of just kind of unsettled weather around us. There's some high pressure right over northeast Ohio. That's the reason why we've got mostly clear skies. You might have noticed today there was a little extra haze. That's a little bit of wildfire smoke that we got. We got a little bit of dose of that. Not nearly as thick as we've had it in the past, but otherwise everything's staying around us. We're kind of in a nice bubble this afternoon. We're also in a bubble of heat. Temperatures in the 80s area wide. It's 87 right now in Akron. We're in the low 80s, closer to the lakeshore. 83 in Medina, 82 in Worcester. Overnight tonight, we'll dip into the 60s, probably upper 60s. It's going to be a nice start tomorrow morning. Lots of sunshine. Tomorrow afternoon is interesting because we're watching our next system. You might have saw that front towards our west. That's going to slowly approach. There's not a lot of cold air with it, but it's just enough to maybe spark an isolated thunderstorm. Today, we remain dry. We had a good one, right? Tomorrow afternoon, we'll have that chance for a pop-up, probably after 2 or 3 o'clock. I think the best chance will be 4, 5, 6 o'clock. And then as the sun starts to set, those chances also start to go away. Here's another way to look at those rain zones. As that front comes in, I think the better chance for a storm will be towards the west. But we're under a solid 20% chance. And the farther east you go, honestly, the rain chances start to dwindle. Closer to the islands, we have a little bit better of a chance. But once again, it's not going to be a washout at all, even towards the islands. Maybe a quick pop-up thunderstorm. That's it. Here's your National and Zymark hour-by-hour forecast tonight. Mostly clear skies. Once again, getting into those upper 60s for tomorrow morning, starting Sunday with some great weather. We'll have some southerly winds throughout later into the afternoon, and then they'll start to switch out of the north with that lake breeze a little bit. But we'll be watching some of these pop-ups towards the west. Once again, it's going to be a lottery system. A lot of us, I honestly think, are going to stay dry tomorrow. We'll just have a couple blimps on the radar. They'll pop up. They'll go away. Tomorrow, though, I think the heat index is going to be a little bit higher as we start to get just a little bit more humidity. It's going to feel more like about 90 degrees throughout the afternoon. Even though you see on the Union Home Mortgage 7-day outlook, we'll be in the mid-80s, but it'll feel like the low 90s, Lena, and we'll probably stay in those 80s and even climb towards actual 90 degrees towards this upcoming week. When you look at the 7-day forecast, Lena, you can kind of split it in two. The next 4 days, we are hot, we are humid. There could be a stray storm, but I think most of us are going to just be dry. Next week, more rain starts to come in and more thunderstorms too.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks so much, Matt.